Hello again. It's almost the last video I think I'll be recording about these 79 mods because we're pretty much done. Just a few more things to document today, just little tidy up things. The only thing left after this lot is the Air CTI system, which I've put in half of it, but I've just got to get around putting all the rotators on the wheels. Now, the Air CTI system allows me to inflate and deflate the wheels while I'm driving along, and I had it in my big MAN truck. It was great, so it's probably worth more than a winch because you can use it. If you can change your tyre pressures easily, you will do it, and the tyre pressures, sometimes that's all you need to get through without any complications. But that seems to have taken me a long time to get around to doing anything about that one, so that's probably going to be the next video. First thing is just an add-on diesel tank. I've got 180 litres, but I'm not sure I 100% trust the fuel gauge. It didn't seem to be reading accurately right at the very end of the tank. In fact, I ran out. It said I had 35 kilometres to go, and yeah, just ran out. So I've just put on a little thing called a Roto Packs, which I got from when I had my Combi, and the Combi only had an 8 litre tank, and I needed a bit of extra fuel and a bit of extra water. So what I've done, I'll just flick the camera around, and it just mounts up on a toolbox, 7.5 litres. Underneath there's a T-clamp with 2 arms that rotate, and the handle goes at 90 degrees and holds the jerry can up. Strictly speaking, this is actually a water container because it's white. There's another one I've got that's yellow for diesel, but that's been used somewhere else on my camper. And at 7.5 litres, it's just enough to give me probably 50-60k extra range. And I'll just put this down and I'll fix it in so you can see how quick it is. So these just have to be parallel to start with. The way I've got it fitted, it just goes up like that on 90 degrees, and then the bottom one spins to lock it in like that, and that's solid as. While we're here, I've got a bit of stone protection I've put on. It's just a brush, which is the spray protectors that come off a truck. And the main use is just to protect small things from flying stones from the front wheels. So in this case, on the passenger side, there's the brush, and behind the brush is my water tap for my 70 litre tank. And it just stops the stones whacking into it and doing it some damage. And I've started putting some on the back on the mudguard, and that's going to be where my air lines are going to go for the Air CTI system. And the last place I've got them is behind the rear wheels, just so that any stones flicked up don't hit anything I'm towing. So if I'm towing a camper, it's just a bit more protection from the rear stones flicked up. It's pretty flexible, so if you reverse into something, I've reversed into a few things with like in deep sand, and they just bend up out of the way. Making the diff protector is an easy job. Just a small piece of aluminium, 3mm, and a couple of bends on I've got a magnetic bender. The clamping force is just provided by a great big magnet, and once you put the power through it, it clamps down extremely hard. It's really good at bending up smaller things. You wouldn't want to bend up a 6-foot bench, it's not that wide. I think it does 4 feet, 1200mm. And for small fabrication jobs, it's really handy. This is the diff cover after doing the Ambadell and the Connie Sue. So it's taken quite a few whacks. And obviously the black paint's been almost stripped off it completely. So it's obviously doing some protection, which is good. On my Troopy, the running boards are quite a bit shorter proportionally than the single cab, and I had trouble with stones coming up. I had flares at the back, which got peppered by stones because the running boards finished so soon. And coming back from Birdsville, somehow a stone either ricocheted off the rear flare and bounced back and smashed my mirror, my passenger side mirror, or it got flicked up. Somehow the rock got stuck in the tread of the rear tyre and flung forwards instead of going backwards. Yeah, smashed the mirror, and I think that could have been prevented if the running boards had been the full lengths. So on this one, I've found an old piece of my Troopy actually. It's actually the rear step. Chopped it in half, and with a bit of fabricating, it now extends the running board all the way to my aluminium tray. so there's much less space for a rock to flick up and actually get anything to do with my paintwork. So that's pretty much the end of the mods. The last one, as I said before, is the Air CTI system. I'm not sure why, I just haven't got around to getting stuck into that. There's a fair bit of piping and we've been away, all that sort of stuff. But that's probably the last remaining update to do. So all in all, I'm pretty pleased with it. It's got quite a few advantages over the Troopy. I know Andrew St Pierre White would disagree. It's the method of travelling around the outback, but I really like my Jacksons. Actually, maybe I'll do a bit of a summary of what I think about the Jacksons. I mean, for me, this is a good combination because I'm still needing to use a ute around the farm. We can take the Jacksons off, put it in the tractor shed, and just use it like a farm ute. We go out and collect firewood or pick up hay from the fodder store, that sort of stuff. So for me, a 79 works pretty well. I did love my Troopy when I had it, but not as versatile as a 79 for my situation. So until I get the Air CTI stuff happening, that'll be it. And we're just out and about using it. We've got some camping trips planned coming up. And next year we're going to do the Simpson because we couldn't do it this year. So it'll get a little bit of use. But I think that's the end of the mod phase, and now we're into the usage phase. So hope you found some of that interesting and some of it useful, and I'll see you later. See ya.